Greetings! Welcome to another edition of Odin Reviews Shit. This is going to be a show where I take random gimmicky craft supplies and review them, and buy them so you don't have to. On this episode, Fimo Gemstones. Now, I got these, actually kind of excited about these, and I've been waiting quite patiently as I can wait, for them since they were only being sold in Europe. But then I went to my local craft store and discovered that they sold them! Finally. So I was super excited and willing to try them. And yeah, they come in 6 colors. In agate blue, blue ice quartz, jade green, ruby quartz, and citrine quartz. Finally, rose quartz. Now, the reason why I say these are kind of gimmicky is because I'm a little torn on buying a bunch of different colors. When it comes to polymer clay, I try to buy as few colors as possible and just mix my own palettes. And with these, I'm going to try and replicate my own and then determine whether or not these are actually worth buying separately. Upon further analysis of the actual color, let's see if I can find a spot, it looks like it's a translucent with a mica shimmer and such. So let me know what you guys do, if I have any other polymer clay artists out in the crafting world on YouTube. What do you like to do? Do you like to buy a bunch of different colors, or do you like to just mix your own and save them for later? Well, I'm going to test these out, and I will see you in a bit. Alright, so here are the baked results. And as you can see, these turned out a lot darker than the initial packaging and a lot more translucent than what than the clay read out of the package. So my first experiment was to take basically a piece of clay that is similar in color and then blending it with a wad of translucent. And my first attempt wasn't a great success. I have these pieces. 5, 6. Which, the colors are right, but the translucent effect is not there. I took basically a 2/3 translucent to 1/3 colored clay to mix these, and it's not very translucent. With a little bit of silver shimmer powder, I basically took an old eyeshadow and just scraped it in the clay while I was mixing it. And it got the little bitty glittery effect, because when I opened the package, it didn't really seem to have much of a glitter pigment. Not very much used, but when you look at it closely, it has a very, very subtle swirly effect going on. See, on the bootay. Yeah, a little bit of a swirl going on, which I thought was just a matter of mixing pigment into the machine process. So I tried with a higher ratio. This piece was made with a 10:1 ratio, and it's still not very translucent at all. Come on. There we go. Not even close. So then, I got to thinking, well, maybe they just take translucent clay and dye it. So enter that experiment. This one is made out of pure pigment powder. And the effect is actually pretty similar. You can see a little bit of a swirl effect going on with this piece. and comparing it to something else, we get something pretty similar. Then I tried just plain food dye, and I honestly have no idea what happened here. I probably put too much dye or didn't mix it enough, but it has this really weird mottled gross effect. And yeah, I'm not happy with that one either. Then this one, I used both pigment powder and dye, and I really, really love how this turned out, but it's still not exactly the effect. But, well, in conclusion, you probably can replicate this with a lot more experimentation than I was willing to give, and it's all up to you when you really want to do something like that, because you can buy it for convenience and have it on hand and not have to mix anything, or you can just try it with whatever you have at home. But one thing I do say is that because it's Fimo, I really, really do not like working with Fimo because it is super freaking soft. It's great for doing things like mold building or sculpting texture, but doing fine miniatures like this, it's not fun at all. I've had to, like, you can see where I've tried that piece was, you can see this thigh detail. It started off as a clump that I attached to it to give it definition, but in the end I just resorted to sculpting lines into it because no matter how hard I try, I couldn't get it to stick properly without doing the rest of the details. And I wasn't about to run to my freezer every 5 minutes to put them in and watch them harden. So, that's that. I personally prefer a harder formula of clay for the miniatures and stuff.